All right, guys. So today is episode 2 of the Ruthlessly Curious podcast. And it's honestly taken me about a month to get back to creating some sort of cadence so that I can consistently do this and get in front of the camera and have the time to just really get out my thoughts. Today's episode is really, it's going to be about one of my most favorite subjects, which is creating a vision for your life. Now, what's interesting about this is I've really been wrestling with this idea. And the question that I've been wrestling with which is, does someone actually need a vision to be successful? So the next question would be I think the answer is number one, it just depends. It depends on the person. It depends on the person and their personality. It depends on their season of life. There's just so many variables that kind of go into creating a vision for your life. But let's back up a little bit and let's have this conversation, which is, are you a person that is goal-oriented? And what I mean by that is, do you like to set goals? Do you like to write them down? Do you like to talk about them with other people? Do you like to hire a coach to hold you accountable to reach those goals, whether they're fitness goals, business goals, life goals? Relationship goals are also part of the life part. I think you have to ask yourself, are you a goal-oriented person? Because what really makes the vision work really interesting, or at least in my limited perspective, what's made it really interesting for me is I have business goals, I have family goals, I have fitness goals, and also within your own personal, within the category of personal goals, you have intrapersonal, you have interpersonal, and you have spiritual. Right. So if you write all of those things down, it can be, obviously it's number one, it's just overwhelming to think about in general. But if you start to write them down, then it's going to be much easier for you to come up with a plan and look at where is the lowest hanging fruit, right? And so one of the things that I think is really interesting in terms of intrapersonal is having that consistent dialogue with yourself and being alone and doing that hard work. That can be one of the most daunting tasks for people, because a lot of times we don't know how to just get quiet and be alone with our thoughts without having some sort of connection to our phones, our watches, whatever it is that connects us to this other reality that we have outside of what we're actually engaged in the moment, right? That other reality, that social media, the things that are going on outside of us. So I think for me, in order to achieve the goals that I want to achieve, I must have a vision to help hold me accountable to all of those goals. Because like I said, there's this low-hanging fruit that a lot of times if you just make one small change, or there's this one goal that you start to do more inner work on yourself, or you start to work on your fitness, your physical and your fitness goals, then all of a sudden other goals they become much easier for you to go and engage with and attack, and then just kind of mark off your list. So I think the ultimate question is if or the thing that people really need to think about in terms of having a vision for their life, if it's overwhelming to you, then you need to understand how to break it down into micro tasks to make it easier for you to digest and for you to execute appropriately. Because the idea with having a vision is, I want to make sure that I articulate this point appropriately, because again, it can be it's overwhelming for certain people if you're not a very visionary thinker, which is the idea of the vision is, so you have this goal that you want to achieve, or you have multiple goals that you want to achieve throughout the course of the year. You have to be able to think about the person that you are becoming in a year from now. Let's just say a year from now. What is it that I need to do right now in order for me to achieve that goal that's 2-3 years down the road, or however many months down the road? So I think, don't get overwhelmed with the idea of having a vision. Create some small goals for yourself to make it easier, to make it digestible. And as you get better with orienting yourself towards your goals, then it becomes much easier to think about creating a vision for yourself through achieving multiple goals. And you can honestly just look at your life over the course of the last probably 2, 3, 4 years, where you've got multiple goals that you achieved, and you are a better person because of it. But the idea with having this vision, or creating a vision for yourself, is so you can be super intentional every single day with every single minute and hour, or every single minute and second of your time, because it is so valuable as our lives get more complex, or that time becomes so valuable, and all these things that you want to do and achieve and aspire. And I just think that the creating a vision for your life can really help put good systems in place so that you can achieve your ultimate goals. And I think the thing that I've been thinking about the most for my vision for me for 2021 is really, there's words that come up: contribution, connection, commitment. And let's dissect those words. So contribution to my community, to my family, to God. Connection to God, to my wife, to my family. And just being committed to those two things. So it's 3 C's, right? So really that's my vision for 2021. And when I go to write out my vision board for this year, in terms of the things that I want to achieve from a business standpoint, and also from a professional standpoint, and also from a personal standpoint, I will write out that board and then see which areas need the most attention right now. And that's kind of how I'll execute on that. So the next time we get together to talk about the vision, I'll put together a vision board for you guys so that you can kind of see how my brain works and how you can be strategic so that you maximize all of your time and energy so that it's pushing you towards your goals. And that's sort of how I think about visioning. That's how I think about setting goals and orienting myself towards my goals and towards my vision. And I think that, if you're that type of person, if you're the type of person that likes, to achieve and aspire and contribute and connect and all those great things, then there are some easier ways to create systems so that you can achieve everything that you want to achieve in 2021. The crazy and cool thing is if we have another year like 2020, then you have to be willing to pivot and make small adjustments, but still have your eyes set on that vision and that goal that you set earlier in the year. All right. So I hope that some of this helps. I hope this can create just some more, if anything else, maybe it'll create some internal dialogue for you so that you can really start to think about visioning for 2021, and then also some goal setting. And remember too, there's low-hanging fruit for all of us, right? So like, what is that one small change that you could make right now that really starts to help you put yourself in the driver's seat and really start to just crank through the next 44 days of 2020 and set yourself up for success heading into 2021. Anyways, listen, I really appreciate you guys tuning in today. As always, stay ruthlessly curious and just ruthlessly execute on being the best version of who you are supposed to be. Thank you guys. Y'all have a great day.